All right, let's start with one of those headlines. Former Public Enterprises Minister Barbara Hogan has told the Zondo Commission of Inquiry into state capture that government is not meant to interfere with the operations of state-owned enterprises, even though it's a shareholder. Hogan detailed how the Gupta family pressurised her to scrap the lucrative South African Airways route between Johannesburg and the Indian city of Mumbai and give it to Jet Airways. She lost her job after it was reported that she refused to cancel the lucrative route despite pressure from those brothers. SABC's senior political reporter Mzwandile Mbeje, we call him Mbeje, has been at the inquiry today, joins us now. Thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
Let's start with this incredible story she told of this man with this huge cloud hanging over his head invited back into Transnet stores.
It was quite interesting, Francis. You know, people have been saying as this commission started that the ANC is on trial, but of course ANC has been rejecting that. But from that testimony, you actually couldn't help but think, hey, the ANC is on trial here, because she was speaking about this one man who really everyone was putting pressure on to say he needs to be appointed the CEO of Transnet. I mean, a number of people were mentioned there. I mean, from the name of the former president to Julius Malema's at the time, he was the EFF, he was the ANC Youth League president, and of course the SACP and Satao. So quite a number of people, even the cabinet ministers. I mean, she mentioned Minister Nyanda then of Communications and Minister Jeff Hadebe, who's the current Minister of Energy, basically saying all these people were putting undue pressure on her to appoint this person, Siyabonga Gama. Unfortunately, the person who had been initially recommended for the post was Sipho Maseko, who had apparently qualified for the position.
Who's now done wonders for Telkom, and she outlined his good credentials. Was it clear? Did she outline that it was clearly her prerogative to make that appointment? Or was the president allowed to get involved and say, this is my preferred candidate?
You know how she started her testimony? She basically laid out a process of how you go about to appoint in this current position. So what happens is that the board gets involved, people get interviewed, and then the recommendations are made. But in this instance, I mean, she made it clear that the president cannot make that kind of appointment. So it's the board that would be able to make that appointment, obviously in consultation with the shareholder, which will be the minister in this instance. So basically, that's where things were. I mean, she felt she couldn't be able to do that which she had the executive power to do because of that interference.
So the former president was stopping her doing her job.
That's what she's saying. That because she says when the name of, for example, Sipho Maseko was forwarded, she said no, only Siyabonga Gama should be appointed in that position, given that there were still issues. And then she says, he said, and then we'll have to wait out the process, and then nothing could happen in that time.
Let's talk about SAA and this route to India. So important because it looked like the Guptas wanted another airline to capture that, to benefit from that. She says she wouldn't do it. So what does it say about the next minister and the next?
That is quite interesting because remember, her evidence was not concluded. It continues tomorrow. So today she focused primarily on Transnet, and then we expect more details really to emerge tomorrow when then she takes the stand for the second day, and that's where those details will come up. So today it was just mainly the issue around Transnet, around the appointment of Siyabonga Gama, and of course even going as far as saying the deployment committee. You know, the ANC has a deployment committee which is normally chaired by the deputy president. She says she does not see the usefulness of that committee. I mean, just a few people sitting, then allocating a position to a number of people. So with regards to SAA and those routes, so those details will come tomorrow. Remember, before the judge started this morning, he did warn that, well, so if there's a testimony that is leaked and then we as the media go and publish it, so we could be in trouble. So that's why I would want to put it here right now.
Let's stick with what she said today. Although she has handed in those documents, we will cover SAA tomorrow. Thank you for being with us, Mzwandile Mbeje, looking at the commission, and we'll follow the explosive testimony it's been thus far with Barbara Hogan, the former Public Enterprises Minister.